Hello, it's Charles Fockaert with On the Road with Charles Fockaert on October 22nd, 2017. Welcome, everyone. Thank you for supporting this channel by subscribing, liking, sharing, and any other way you can think of. I appreciate it. Oh, by the way, don't send anything to that P.O. box down below. That's in Kalispell. I'm no longer there. Don't expect to be back there for quite a while. If you are so inclined. Anyway, hey, I'm here, and if you watch my previous video, number 1, on the road with Charles Fockaert, full-time RVer, you might want to watch that one first if you haven't. It'll give you the background for what's going on here. To give you a little more background, because you don't know the whole story yet, I'll try to keep it short here, but it's pretty complicated. When I got back to the States after being outside the United States for 13 years, came back to the States, and it was probably one of the biggest mistakes I ever made, but I did it because I wanted to be in the fight. Our country, our nation is no longer a nation, it's a country, an empire, and us white males especially are under attack, and the Caucasian race, and I didn't want to be somebody from outside trying to fight. I wanted to be here, so I'm here, and I don't know if it was a mistake or not, but I'm here now, so here we are. And as soon as I got back, within a year, I was sued by a lady who must be absolutely nuts, insane, stupid. Without calling me, without contacting me, she just filed a lawsuit which was defective on the face. That means she had no grounds for the lawsuit. Both on the face, it was past the statute of limitations, and her allegations were false. I spent the next 3.5 years basically going to law school, defending myself. I went to the Montana Supreme Court the first time and won. So they allowed me to amend my complaint. At that time, I sent the plaintiff a personal letter. I called it reality check, and boy did her attorney get pissed off because it nailed it. I told her exactly what was happening, but she didn't listen, she didn't heed the advice, and she went ahead. So for the next 2 years, I continued to defend myself while I built up Rocky Mountain Rocket Stoves, a business, and I tried to build some other websites I had going. And if she would have left me alone, she would have got all of her money back plus, and she wouldn't have had to pay the attorney the $50,000 I think she spent over 3.5 years. And so far she's gotten zero because she's a friggin' idiot. But I digress. So as I mentioned in the other video, I had to get enough money to buy everything and pay for this, and I sold a lot of my tools. And I sold a guitar. I was trying to play the guitar, but my fingers just won't allow me to do it. So luckily I got only lost 50 bucks on that. Some other tools. So I have a little bit of money. I'm hoping to get down to Arizona with it. I get on the road. As I mentioned in the previous video, I'm pretty much forced to leave early. And so I'm not even sure. I'm looking on the map here. So I'm looking on the map here, and I left Kalispell right up here on October 11, and I went through Missoula, which is right down here. And I can't even remember now if I stopped somewhere along the way, but I ended up down here in Fockaert, Montana, just outside of Butte, getting fuel. And I checked my fuel, my mileage, and I'm getting 6.895 per mile. So the gas, the cost of fuel is just killing me. Way more than I thought. I thought I'd get at least 10. Remember, I'm in the RV, and I'm hauling my pickup behind me. Here's a picture of when I was up at my buddies in Kalispell. And when you're hauling another vehicle behind like I do, it's called 4 on the floor or 4 on the road. I mean, it's all 4 of your tires are on the road. We have a tow bar, And important thing in the Toyota is that you put it in neutral and turn the key on so the wheels will turn, and that'll be important here in a minute. I used to read these stories or watch the movie, and how everything goes wrong, and you think, well, they're just making that up. No. So anyway, I'm not even sure where I stopped, but I know I stopped right outside of RVer, Montana, after I checked my fuel in a parking space, and it was cold. Montana's a pretty mountainous place, and where I was 5,500 feet, I believe, and so I pulled over. I'm tired. I think I made it all the way down there that evening, one day from Kalispell to RVer, Montana. Usually that's a 4-hour drive in a car. RV is probably 6 hours, so it's late in the day. I pull over. I'm tired. Next morning I get up, do a walk around, and head out, going south towards, hoping to make it to Idaho Falls. Probably maybe 2 hours away in a car, 3 hours minimum for me. And I get up in the morning up the pass, and it starts snowing. Now, I have never been in an RV towing a vehicle before in the snow. And I'm telling you, folks, my knuckles were white and my body was tense. We're getting up. It's snowing now, and 3 or 4 times my RV's doing this in the road. No place to pull over. Semi trucks behind me, and I'm in my mid-60s, folks. If I was 25, 30 years old, even 40, 50 years old, probably wouldn't be too much of a deal, other than there was hard to see, snow flurries coming at you, just 2 little paths where the trucks have been making and the cars have been making the paths on the road. And like I say, I'm, what do you call it, swaying on the road? Anyway, it scared the crap out of me. As you can tell, I made it. I got down the other side of the hill, and now I'm in Idaho, headed towards Idaho Falls. And a white pickup, a newer pickup, and a newer trailer, 5th wheel, I believe it was, or maybe it was just a regular trailer. They go by me. Let me back up a couple of minutes here. I notice the wind's blowing. And wow, I'm having a hard time keeping the RV on the road. I just got done with the snow on the mountains, on the hills, a few miles behind me, and now the wind's blowing. The white pickup goes by me with pulling the trailer, and no sooner as that rig in front of me, my RV gets pushed by the wind. Remember, it's what do they call it, a high-profile vehicle. It gets blown over into the passing lane halfway. And I'm telling you, that scared the crap. That was almost the equivalent of when I was flying and I went into the fog, which I relayed on another video, Learning from Life's Lessons. So what do? I don't really know how bad the wind is, but bad enough to blow me into the other lane. If I would have been blown over 15 seconds earlier, I would have hit that other vehicle, no question about it, going 50, 55 miles an hour. So I'm white knuckle. I don't know how I made it. They had road repair work. They had the winds blowing. And man, I am just stressed out as you can be. I pull into Idaho Falls like 2.5 hours later. Okay, so I drove approximately from somewhere in here, RVer, just south of RVer, Montana, through to Idaho Falls, which is right there. And this area, I found out later, is known for high winds. So anyway, as I said, I got out of the RV in Idaho Falls, first exit, pulled over by a Sinclair gas station around the corner of it. And at that time it was okay weather. I get out of the truck and man, I'm exhausted. I am just tired as I can be, and I go to the back of the truck. I go to the back where the truck is, and guess what I see? I see my driver's side tire is all chopped. And immediately I know what I did wrong. I forgot to turn the key on. So I was driving, the wheels were turning, spinning, but they weren't turning. I went over to the passenger side, and this is what I saw. Okay, idiot thing to do. I forgot to turn the key on. First time doing this, folks, I made a big mistake. And thank God, thank Yahweh, that those tires held up, especially the passenger side. I could have had a blowout going 50, 55 miles an hour in that windstorm. Things can always be worse. Romans 8:28. God was taking care of me. I went out and I found a place to get. I asked where's a good place to get some tires at the local Sinclair store for a guy who doesn't have a lot of money, and the people told me where to go, and I got a couple of new tires on the truck, and I will never make that mistake again, I hope. This now sits on my dash, and I'm going to check that key 3 or 4 times before I leave anymore, folks. Hey, what can I say? But this is what I woke up to the very next morning. I want to thank you for watching, subscribing, supporting this channel, and may the grace of God, our Father Yahweh, who created the level plain earth, covered with a firmament, there is no space. May His grace be upon us all, especially upon me, but it seems that I certainly need it. See ya.